Okay, getting a little better, much more interesting episode. Amanda, girl, girl, goodbye, bye bye.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. All right, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 5. This season is a slow burn so far, but I feel like this episode we're finally kind of starting to get more interesting. Anyway, so the ladies are still in Sedona, and it's the next day, and some of the women are going to this vortex. It's like a big electromagnetic field. There are different points on the earth. One happens to be in Sedona. I low key want to go to that. Um, and then the other group are gonna go shopping. So Jennifer Tilly, Sutton, Kyle, the new girl Amanda. um Erica and Erica all go to the vortex. The rest of the ladies, Boz, Rachel Zoe, and Dorit all go shopping. So before they all leave to go to their prospective spots, activities, they're all like in the main area where they're staying, getting ready. And the ladies that are going to the vortex, because they have to hike up there. It's a hike. That shit was hilarious. Jennifer Tilly in them fucking cowboy boots going up, honey. That was me. Her like I'm jumping ahead. I'll get to that anyway. So they're all getting ready, and Sutton's like, "Don't forget your sunscreen." And Amanda, "Oh, I have sunscreen in my Chanel backpack." It's like she has to label drop everything. It's such new money to the point that it's like irritating. She's very obnoxious and pretentious and not interesting. And to be honest, I'm gonna keep it real. I was really thinking about her trying to explain how she made money last week, and it's giving fraud. It's giving future allegations. It's giving scam energy. I'm not saying she's a scammer or anything like that, but something's not lining up. And the way she talks about money, I'm like, so you clearly got money like 5 minutes ago because you were talking about it a lot. And that's fine that you're new money, but like, girl, shut up. No one cares. No one cares about your stupid Chanel backpack. To me, the joke's on you, because why are you wearing a Chanel backpack when you're going hiking upside a mountain with red dirt, mind you? Girl, she's annoying. I don't understand how she even got on the show. She does not fit in with this group of women. And my friend Tatiana, I feel like her theory is right. I think on these shows, putting 30-year-olds in a group with women over 45, it's just the dynamic is often different, you know? It doesn't always work. And I feel like in this situation, it's not working. But anyway, so they separate. So the groups go to their prospective activities. Boz, Rachel, Zoe, and Dorit all go into town to go shopping. And I like some of the little shops they went into. They go there, and they end up going to this like winery. And of course, Dorit starts talking about her divorce again. I'm getting tired of hearing about her divorce. And did you guys notice how they always do this on every show, but I just find it interesting with Dorit. So Dorit, you're going through this divorce, you're talking about money, but you spent almost $500 on like this like globe energy thing, and then bought jewelry at another. I just thought that was interesting. I feel like, to go back to what was said last week, I feel like this all might get used against you. I don't know. It's just I didn't feel comfortable with watching her shop on TV when she's going through this like separation divorce situation. Money seems to be an issue. And from what he's saying, you spend money like crazy, and then we're seeing you spend money on this shit in the middle. It just, I'm not judging, but I just feel like optically it doesn't look good. I feel like a lot of the stuff with Dorit this season and last season, unfortunately, is gonna come back to bite her. I do. I don't want that for her, but my gut is telling me something different. But anyway, um, so of course she starts talking about how she doesn't feel supported by Kyle. Same shit. So meanwhile, the other ladies are hiking up to the vortex. It was really funny watching Jennifer Tilly try to hike up. Um, she was out of breath and shit. That would have been me. It was great. But they all get to the top of this like spot and there's like a lot of wind and everybody goes to their own area. Jennifer Tilly could not stop talking. She talked the entire trip, basically. The entire trip. Um, Even Amanda at one point was like, "Does she talk this much? Does she normally talk this much?" But anyway, so while they're all up there meditating, Kyle and Erica are talking, and of course they're talking about Dorit. And Kyle's just telling Erica, Dorit got mad at me because I think she doesn't, what happened last week with the whole kids going to Florida. And so it's funny because they're basically having each scene, the ladies shopping, and then Kyle and Erica. It's like the scenes are intercutting with each other because they're talking about what happened. And Kyle's like, I love Dorit. I support her, but it's hard because I hear the other side. Mauricio talks to PK, and PK is saying she's not letting him see his kids. And then Mauricio is like, I saw the text messages and it appears she's not letting him see her kids. And Erica's like, this is what I didn't want to happen, you to get caught in the middle and for all of this to come out. It sounds like they have a very messy situation. And I feel like Dorit is not giving us the 100. I feel like she's lacking some accountability on her hand. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. And I'm going off of history with her. I mean, she's been on the show a minute now. We the audience have seen her. We know her. We know her. We know how she gets down. So if she's gonna paint somebody as a villain that's not her, she's gonna do that. We've seen it in the past. But Erica said something really real. She was like, if I were Kyle, I would stay completely out of it. I would tell Mauricio, you know what? Don't even tell me what you and PK talk about. Just, I want to be totally oblivious, ignorant to it. I agree because once you know the information, it puts you in it. Because of course, Dorit's gonna be like, well, why didn't you relay that? Blah blah blah. It's not good. Um, but also Dorit, I understand that she's going through a lot and she's leaning on her friends, and unfortunately, she's in a weird position. But I agree with Erica. Erica was like, you need to just stop talking, don't talk about PK. And Kyle's like, well, it's all she talks about, which is true. I've said it every review this season. Well, I missed the first 3. But yeah. Anyway, so they all get back and they're all going to be making dinner for themselves. So the dinner starts late. Kathy is the first one to start making, I forget what she was making, pasta primavera or something like that. So she starts making her dinner, which is a little bit before 9. And the other ladies are still getting ready. Everybody's in makeup. So Bose on this trip is actually not feeling well. I forgot to mention this last episode, but basically she's still doing her IVF. And what comes with that? Hormones, a lot of uncomfortableness. She's really being a trooper, but you can tell she doesn't feel well. So she was quiet this episode. She was quiet. And I will say this to jump back real quick. Bose gave Dorit really good advice when Dorit was basically complaining about Kyle not supporting her. Bose called her out and she said, you know why that is though? Because you're not allowing her to. You're not receiving her. And we've seen Dorit put stipulations on how she wants her friends to show up for her, which is that's not how that works, ma'am. They're going to show up how they're going to show up. You know what I mean? It's interesting. This episode it was like the ladies were giving each other really good advice. It was nice. It was nice to see. It wasn't a lot of cattiness. The only irritant and cattiness this entire episode was your girl Amanda. So let's get to Amanda. So while the ladies are trickling downstairs getting ready to cook this dinner, Amanda comes into Kyle's room and basically is like, so I have some information. My friend Alana was out and met this guy, and he said that he used to work for Sutton. And my friend told him that I knew Sutton, and he said to have Amanda call me so I can give her all the dirt on Sutton. So clearly she's referring to Sutton's former assistant, Avi. Very obvious they had it was a bad breakup. It was a bad professional relationship breakup. It didn't end well. I knew it wasn't going to end well. Sutton seems like she'd be difficult to work for. But anyway, so she's basically asking, they're talking about it, and she asked Kyle, like, should I bring this up to her? And Kyle's like, well, if he's going around saying that, yeah, she should know. I don't know. I don't know. Because obviously, when you do that, you put yourself, the messenger almost always gets shot, right? So I don't know. I don't know if that's something I would have relayed, unless it grew legs and maybe I would say something. I don't know. That's a hard one. I really don't know. I don't know if I would say something or not. But anyway, so downstairs, the ladies are slowly trickling in, and it's almost 11 o'clock, and they're still not fully done making this dinner. And apparently, Sutton had volunteered to do the chicken, and she's the last one out. She's the only one that's not down there. So they, of course, are like, where the hell is Sutton? So Sutton finally comes out. I want to say this. Sutton looks really good this season. She looks really pretty. She came out in that really pretty yellow dress. I don't know if she had any work done, but she looks thinner. Her face looks more refreshed. Her hair looks nice. Sutton looks really nice this season. I think she looks really good. I think it's also very obvious she's going through some things. Um, that is this whole, I hate that this will probably end up being a storyline for her this season, among other shit. But the whole thing with the assistant Avi, I don't know how long he worked for her, but it must have been long because it's clearly affecting her. So anyway, she finally comes out, and they're kind of giving her shit about coming out late. And she's like, "We're on vacation. I don't know why anybody was in a rush." So in her confessional, where she also looked fantastic in that black, baby, the skin was glowing, the eyes, the hair. Sudden, you look really good, girl. You look good. But anyway, she basically said, after going to the vortex, it probably took a lot of energy out of her. And she's like, I needed to just come back to my room and relax. So they start finishing up the dinner. It was nice to see them all come together and like collaborate, make dinner. It was cool. So they all sit down, they're eating. Amanda decides to bring up the whole what Avi said. So she says this to Sutton. Sutton's response is, okay. Because her thing is, it's like, it's one of those, well, okay, so he said that. So what do you want me to do with this information? He doesn't work for me anymore. I mean, he's allowed to talk shit. But I understand the sentiment of telling, but it's the way she delivers it. It's like Amanda was, Sutton does the typical Virgo thing, like, I'm not going to let you see me sweat, and I'm not going to let you see that I'm irritated. So I'm going to give you a thank you, nod nicely, appreciate your time, thank you for the information, and keep it moving. And it's funny because you could tell that reaction was not satisfying for Amanda. This is what I mean by these 30-year-olds they put on the show with these group of ladies who are older and mature and just in a different social bracket and maturity bracket, social maturity bracket. So when you put her in a group, it's like Candace on Potomac. You put a feisty 30-some-year-old in a group full of, mature women, it's going to be a lot of arguments. And Amanda is a know-it-all. She's pretentious. She's irritating. How did she get on this show? Girl, who do you know? How did you get on this show? But anyway, so they kind of leave that there. Sutton doesn't give her what she wants to hear. The other ladies all come outside, and she, of course, reiterates the story again. And Bose is like, "Do you believe that he would say that? Like, why would he say this about you?" To Sutton. Sutton's like, "Well, I don't believe that he said it." And she kind of leaves it there. She's just like, "I don't want to keep discussing this." Which she reiterates again the following night because what's her face didn't get a reaction big enough that she wanted. But anyway, in between, so after that, we go to another day where they're all hanging out again, and forget about the activities. Let's just talk about Amanda's. So Amanda's code of conduct, the way this chick moves. So when she first comes out to see the ladies the next morning, she has her laptop. Oh yeah, today's the launch of my new website. Then at one point when they're riding to the next destination, she's in the car with Rachel Zoe and Erica, and she's on the phone with one of her business partners on speakerphone, mind you, talking about business. And it was funny. Erica was like, "Girl, why are you trying to stunt in front of us?" That's what I mean. Like, she's so out of her depth and out of her element, even being on this type of show, doing all of that. I'm like, because I know she's watched the show before she came on it because, girl, Has anyone ever done that on the show prior to you? Of course not. You look ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I need to know more about how she's manifesting. They talked a little bit about it in this episode because Rachel Zoe was talking about it. And she talks about how she manifested her husband. Amanda did. He was an Abercrombie model or whatever. I don't know. I'm tired talking about her. She's exhausting and pretentious and annoying. So, anyway, they go to their other activity. I don't even remember what it is, but we go to another dinner. It's like a final dinner. And so we go to this final dinner. Really, Georgie? Just in the back, all in the video, all in the song. Anyway, so they go to this final dinner and Amanda addresses Sutton again because that morning Sutton had called her out for saying that she was late to the dinner. And Sutton's like, well, everybody was late. But I guess she had called her Missy, like, hey, Missy. So Amanda, of course, addressed that. Well, it was a little aggressive, and it just seemed like not right to address. Like, and I'm Team Sutton with all of this shit. I'm on Sutton's side. Sutton was like, you'll know when I'm mad at you, basically. And she goes, oh, so it wasn't the assistant thing? And Sutton's like, no. So in the confessional, Sutton's like, she keeps trying to get a reaction out of me, and what you're not going to do is get attention off of me, Missy. That was fantastic. But she basically, well, this is where she does a speech about how she doesn't know what happened. It was a business relationship. I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'm sorry that we don't have the relationship that we have anymore, talking about her and Avi. But she's like, I'm done discussing it. So you guys can talk about it amongst yourselves, but you're not talking about it with me. We're done, right? Heard, whatever, nail in the coffin, that's that. So Jennifer Tilly is sitting next to her and she starts to say something and Sutton snaps at her like, please don't. Jennifer's like, I wasn't even going to comment on that, but okay, I just won't say anything. So Kyle gets up to go to the restroom. Jennifer Tilly joins her and basically they use the restroom. They come back out and they're talking about Sutton. And Jennifer Tilly, welcome to the Real Housewives. You are messy boots now. Basically, she's like, it gets to a point where somebody keeps snapping at you and eventually you can only take so much. And she was just like, Sutton always snaps at her friends. And, if it isn't about her, it's a problem. And this is why I think Garcelle left. So Kyle is in her confessionals like, I cannot believe that Jennifer is talking about Sutton to me. So meanwhile, Sutton's at the table. She's emotional. I think with Sutton, you tend to be meaner to the ones that are closer to you. And it's very obvious she has a very close relationship with Jennifer Tilly. That's not an excuse at all because you don't talk to your friend who's also a grown ass woman like that either. She definitely owes her friend an apology, but you can tell Jennifer's getting sick of it. But for her to say, I think this is why Garcelle didn't stick around, that's interesting. Anyway, the episode kind of ends there. We're finally starting to get somewhere and get more interesting. I'm tired of hearing about Dorit and PK. And Amanda, you're very annoying, and I hope you don't come back next season. And Kathy Hilton, I actually found funny in this episode. All right, happy Sunday, you guys. I was going to say, sorry my review was late, but it is what it is. That is life. Anyway, it's cold today. It's supposed to be sleet here in Maryland. So stay warm, stay hydrated, be nice to each other, like, share, and subscribe, please. And have a good week. And I'm going to go return these videotapes.